These seeds aren't random. Timing still matters. Week 12 is about what still needs a long runway until spring shows up. I'm still winter sowing outside, using what I have, and letting winter decide when anything happens. Same basic setup, milk jugs, old soil, and no grow lights. This looks a lot like last time, but I am doing a few things differently. First, the grow light shelves are just storage now. Getting everything up off the floor helps me work faster. Second, I'm reading the seed packets before I start. Then I group like seed with like seed, and then make my list of what to plant. Third, when I clean out the milk jugs now, I reshape them right away. That way, I'm hoping they store better and are easier to work with later. And fourth, the last thing I'm doing differently this week, on one of my shelves in the basement, I found this metal hop scoop from a brewery up in Wisconsin, and I think it's just going to make loading these jugs a lot quicker. Week 12. And again, the focus is on planting those seeds that are either going to take longer to germinate, that will benefit from being out in the cold weather, or that don't need warm soil to get started. I'm choosing these seeds now so they'll have time to respond naturally instead of being rushed later. So here's what I'm planning this week. The first group are flowers. Those are going to go in a new kind of expanded planting bed that I'm trying to fill out. I've got two kinds of yarrow, and I kind of seeded these heavy because I want lots of them. And I also planted pansies, baby's breath, lupine, sweet William, bachelor buttons, sweet pea, and rudbeckia. The sweet peas were kind of an experiment, so I did plant those a little lighter, and then we'll see how hardy they are in my zone. The rudbeckia seeds, those ended up being pelleted seeds. They're usually more expensive, and they don't last year to year. So I went ahead and planted the whole packet. I was going to save some of them to try later. The next group are some native plants, two native plants. I'm kind of hoping these will add structure to that big flower bed. There's Baptisia, which I've grown in two other houses, and a new one to me, muhly grass, if I'm saying that right. The next group are my lemon balms. Now these are going into a tea garden, but I hear these self-seed easily. So I'm just going to do a few types of each and we'll see how they do here. Then I did some veggies and herbs. First was shallots. Now, I'm not positive, but I think shallots are considered like onions, where the seed is not good year to year. So I went ahead and planted the whole packet. Next is peppermint, which is also going into my tea garden. I'd like to have lots of that, so I planted that heavy. It's also old seed. And the asparagus is old seed too, so we just are going to use up the packet. And finally, I planted 12 of the rhubarb seeds. I don't really know where these are going in the garden quite yet, and I don't really know how they're going to do in my clay soil in Northwest Alabama. It may be too wet, I don't know. So another experiment. These jugs will go back outside and stay there. I'll step in later if they need protection, but for now, winter's in charge. Out in the garden, nothing's happening yet. And that's exactly what I expect at this point. The soil's cold, the weather's bouncing around, and everything is doing its quiet winter work. I'll share updates when something changes. And in the meantime, I'll be bouncing back and forth between garden work and house projects as the winter weather allows. Same setup, new lessons. I'll see you in the next one.